All right, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to another video. Today we took no trades again, made $0. So let's go ahead and get into it on why I didn't take any trades and these setups that I did see that I would have taken if I was trading. So coming into the day, we have this bearish SMT between NQ and ES. NQ is ripping past all-time highs. ES is lagging. So coming into the day, we had that bearish SMT and NQ just rips up and sets a new all-time high. Now, this is where I would have taken my first setup. This would have been right before 950 macro. Entry would have been at around 945. So basically what happened, we inverse this 1 minute right here. We create a CISD and order block on the 1 minute. And I would have entered with about a 20-point stop, just giving the trade enough room to breathe because that fair value gap right there is a bit small. So there's a good chance that it could have been wicked out and we would have been stopped out. But just giving us 20 points, just allowing us more room to breathe and just allowing the trade to flow better. And it allows you to make less emotional mistakes like exiting and drawdown. So the target on this trade would have been London lows. We had the liquidity sweep, which was our sweep of London high. And then we also had our bearish SMT. And then we have the model form on the 1 minute. We inverse this fair value gap. We create the CISD and order block. So that would have been my entry right there, targeting London lows for about a 80-point profit. That was an A+ setup. We could have taken it. You could have taken some profits at New York Open and let the rest ride to London low. As you can see, once we swept New York Open, we pretty much just chopped around all the way until hitting London low. So yeah, as you can see, we're pretty much using the exact same model that we would if we were entering longs, but we're just doing it in the opposite direction and just looking for shorts. As you can see, we get the CISD and order block to the downside instead of the upside. So that would indicate for us to go short, right? The second trade that I would have taken today was right before 1050 macro. After taking London lows, we have a small displacement to the upside and we just start to chop around before inversing this 1 minute right here. We create the CISD and order block, and this could have been an entry, or if you were already still in this trade from earlier, you could have just added in this position right here. If you were taking it as a second trade, I would leave my stops at just about 15 points above this internal high right here. Once again, allowing it room to breathe, and just in case that fair value gap does get wicked out, you're not going to be stopped with it. So I would have had about a 60-point target, 57 points to be exact, but our target would have been Asia low, down all the way down here. And as you can see, right around the 1050 macro is when we would have hit our take profit. Overall, very bearish day, really no chance for any longs. Most of the time that I was trading this morning, I was looking for longs. So that's a majority of the reason why I didn't take any trades. I really wanted price to come back and rip to all-time highs, which is what we had been seeing as of recently for the past, I would say, past couple of weeks. We could see on days that we're hitting all-time highs, we're just retracing a little bit underneath all-time highs, and then we just get a huge pump up, either taking all-time highs and continuing all the way until Asia session or the afternoon New York session, and then we'll start to consolidate and then come back to the downside. But usually for the past couple of weeks, I haven't seen price action like this, at least. So it just wasn't something that I was super comfortable with taking, as well as obviously this entry was a little early. It was about 9:40, 10 minutes before macro. If we would have been stopped out before macro and then price ran to TP, I would have been mad about that, right? So honestly, just trying to save myself from making bad mistakes and taking bad trades. These setups right here were pretty much just A+, right? We had a liquidity sweep on both, bearish SMT intact. We had our model formed on the 1 minute, which is the 1 minute IFVG, CISD, and order block combo. And from there, price just runs straight to TP. In both trades, we would have been maybe one tick, maybe 3 to 5 ticks in drawdown on the second trade. But overall, these were A+ setups. So yeah, another day of me not trading. Hopefully we get a good setup form tomorrow and I can look for a good risk to reward ratio on that setup and hopefully try to get myself back at a drawdown. So yeah, like I was saying, overall very bearish day. All I saw was 2 entries into shorts and they would have played out, but just not super probable. We have this big push up to create all-time highs and then we get this big move down. Usually that means that the big move for the day is done And as you can see, that was pretty much just the case today. After we had swept New York Open low, we just started chopping around pretty much all the way to Asia low, and it wasn't any direct price action after that. So that's just a majority of the reason why I didn't want to trade today. If I had seen something more direct, if I had seen more buy pressure, more sell pressure, and we didn't get this, up and down, up and down, up and down, and then take liquidity. If we were just taking liquidity in 2 to 3 candles, and it was a good displacement, it was a good looking displacement, I would have taken a trade. But just wasn't super favorable again today, so we made no money. We sat it out, we watched it, got that extra rep in, that extra practice for tomorrow, and hopefully we see a good setup tomorrow that we can take. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to trade smart, trade safe.